It's been almost 3 months since my encounter with X-Men, the official game, and since then, nothing's been the same. Well, some stuff's been the same. Okay, actually a lot of it's been the same, but I've been having these strange, reoccurring dreams. There's a city in flames, people screaming in terror, and this laughter. This horrible, evil laughter. I have this dream every night. Well, most nights. Some nights? Once? Yeah, let's go with that. I'm not even sure what the dream means, but I know there are some powerful forces at work. Something big is going to happen. I can feel it. And it's going to require all of my skill, my cunning, my strength, and my knowledge of Sony Vegas visual effects. But for now, all I can do is move on with my life and get to my next review. But first, new theme song! I've got a bit of a soft spot in my heart for SpongeBob. It was one of my absolute favorite shows as a kid, right up there with Ed and Eddie and Teen Titans. I stopped watching the show when I was in 6th or 7th grade and haven't really watched any of the newer episodes. But it's still a bit of fun nostalgia for me, and so is the Battle for Bikini Bottom video game. I played this game for hours on my PS2 back when I was a wee lad living in the old country. This game was the shit! So I figured since I enjoyed the old SpongeBob games when I was a kid, I'll enjoy the new SpongeBob games now that I'm older and much more critical of game mechanics and story elements. What could possibly go wrong? Now, I could just tell you about the plot of this game, but why not sing it for you in a groovy summertime jam? Hit it!
SpongeBob's getting ready for the Krusty Krab's birthday. Krabs gives him the formula to make sure it is okay. But SpongeBob loses it and can't seem to recall where it was that he put it until it walks something small. Plankton is there, and even though he's mean, he says to help him find it with his newfangled machine. He puts himself and robots into SpongeBob's noggin to get the patty formula and then rule Bikini Bottom.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so this plot doesn't make any sense. Why would Mr. Krabs give SpongeBob the formula rather than keep it in his safe like he always does? Why would they hold the anniversary party for the Krusty Krab at SpongeBob's house instead of at the Krusty Krab itself? Why would SpongeBob ever trust Plankton to help him with anything, especially related to the Krabby Patty formula?
My honest face?
Well, I guess technically that is a reason, but it ain't a good one! So we enter SpongeBob's mind to find he's already at the party that isn't happening yet. And the only way to find the formula is for him to be happy.
Okay.
So with the help of his friends, that are all in his head, mind you, SpongeBob remembers happy moments from his past and tries to make himself feel happier to find the formula. Most of the levels in this game are based off actual moments and episodes from the TV show. This is actually a pretty cool idea, especially since they're based off older episodes that I actually watched and enjoyed. So with Patrick's help, we hop into the first level as we go into SpongeBob's memories while we're already inside his brain.
Let's dig deeper!
And we get our first taste of gameplay. Truth or Square is a pretty basic platforming game. Jump around the level, fight robots, and get to the end. Pretty simple stuff. Controlling SpongeBob feels alright. His movements are a tiny bit sluggish, but nothing as bad as Family Guy Back to the Multiverse. The jumping feels a bit awkward and floaty, but it's nothing too bad. The combat is where the core gameplay suffers quite a bit. SpongeBob has 3 main moves: a spitting attack, the spatula, and a range attack that shoots water balloons out of his— Good God, that's terrifying! Throughout the game, you're fighting robots, as you tend to do in most of the SpongeBob games, and these guys can actually be pretty annoying. The main grunt enemies are these little spinning fuck buckets that are a pain in the ass to fight. Even if you hit them, they can hit you back anyway just because they feel like it. And these hammer guys do the exact same thing. And this guy, don't even get me started on this guy! He's a dick. So we go through more of SpongeBob's memories. Jellyfishing, meeting Sandy, meeting Santa Claus, and getting hired at the Krusty Krab, just to name a few. As you can probably already tell, these events aren't exactly the same as what transpired in the show. Plankton's put robots everywhere, including Robot Patrick and Robot Squidward boss battles. Now, I understand doing this from a gameplay perspective. I mean, you gotta have enemies to fight, some sort of challenge in here. But how is this helping Plankton in any way? His plan is to help SpongeBob remember where he hid the formula so that he can steal it. And by putting these robots in here, he's hindering his progress immensely. Wouldn't it be easier just to make SpongeBob happy in the first place, then he can find the formula right then and there?
You just blowing from Stupid Town?
At one point, we end up going to the Mermaid Lair, and we get to meet
Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy!
And this is by far the worst level in the game because you can't see a gosh dang thing!
I can't see too good.
There are several sections where you're jumping on moving conveyor belt platforms over a bottomless pit, fighting enemies in almost pure darkness. And this is like the 4th level or something! It took me an hour to beat this stage because I kept dying and falling and sucking and...
I tried so hard and I actually got quite far. In the end, don't.
Anyway, the look of the game isn't very interesting. While there are a lot of bright colors to look at, the environments are pretty lacking in detail. The character models are a bit awkward too. Just like Back to the Multiverse, taking a 2D character and making him 3D can make some pretty awkward results. Some characters like Plankton and SpongeBob look alright, but others like Squidward and Mr. Krabs are just a bit unsettling. The animations are pretty smooth when you're actually playing, but once you get to a cutscene, it all kinda goes to crap. Especially with the lip syncing.
And now he's sad. And when he's sad, he can't remember anything. Like where he put the formula.
Speaking of sound, with one exception, the sound design is overall pfft. The exception is, besides Mr. Krabs, all the characters are played by their TV show counterparts, which I enjoy. And they all actually did a pretty good job too. What I don't enjoy is the constant repeated dialogue. SpongeBob will not shut the hell up, especially in combat.
Some algae each day keeps the doctor away. That's the thing that I always say. I am the sponge!
He just keeps spouting off the same one-liners over and over and over again. He'll even interrupt himself mid-sentence just to start a new one-liner you've heard a million times.
I'll knock you into next week! Or at least I'll knock you into a half hour from now. Here, my mighty hammer! I'm so happy!
And this is assuming you did as I did and turned the music and sound effects way down, because the in-game dialogue is extremely hard to hear.
Shut your half-wit pie holes!
So SpongeBob eventually remembers where he put the formula, and Plankton decides now is the time to act, and begins to attack Bikini Bottom in a giant mech. Because he's hit a switch that said destroy the city instead of destroy the Krusty Krab, and that switch was outside of his mech.
You're dumb.
So now it's up to SpongeBob to destroy the Planktobot. And yes, that's what they're really calling it. So SpongeBob chases after Plankton, doing all kinds of totally sick parkour on the rooftops of Bikini Bottom and jumps into its mouth. After getting into the robot, the Planktobot, SpongeBob beats up the little heart of the thing and destroys it. We then get a 1.5-minute long cutscene where we find out that Mr. Krabs had the formula the whole time.
It was in my back pocket the whole time!
And the game's over. And how long did all that take me? 4 hours.
4 hours!
Dang, I'm getting a lot of use out of that Angry Joe clip. Once you beat the game, you can actually go back and replay past missions. What's weird is that there are no enemies in them. You just run through them and do a few little side activities to get some other collectibles. In a weird way, I actually had more fun doing this than playing the actual game itself. But not enough to replay all the levels. So what's my final verdict on SpongeBob Truth or Square? Well, I think this game is... Hang on. What does this have to do with Truth or Dare? Why is it called that? I mean, there's nothing. No, there's no questions. There's no dares. This isn't like a... I guess there's a party, but it's not a party game. Why is it called this? What's it have to... I'm going to look into this. I'm going to Wikipedia.
2 hours later.
Okay, so it turns out this is based off a made-for-TV movie of the same name. Now, I've never seen it, but based off what I've read, I can conclude it has nothing to do with the game. Nada. Zilch.
Nothing.
But I guess since I'm already on Wikipedia, I might as well find out who's responsible for that crappy game. Heavy Iron Studios, eh? Oh, it turns out they made a few other SpongeBob games. Battle for Bikini Bottom? Well, I really liked that one as a kid. Oh, they did the movie game. I mean, that's a good one, too. Not as good as Bikini Bottom, but, you know... I never played any of these other games, but... Oh... That explains it. No wonder I was drawing so many comparisons to Back to the Multiverse. It's the same studio. I mean, let's bring up a checklist. Confusing plot? Check. Bad looking graphics? Check. Runtime? Check. Awkward looking character models? Check. Turning a beloved TV show into a boring repetitive experience that no one should ever play? Check. Well, there's your proof. What's funny is this game actually came out before Back to the Multiverse, so this was the foundation that crappy game was built on. I still think this is better than Back to the Multiverse, but not by much. I'm hoping that Heavy Iron Studios will go back to making the good SpongeBob games like Battle for Bikini Bottom and stop with the not so good ones. But looking at the Wikipedia list there, I mean, there's a lot of licensed games on there, so I'm pretty sure they'll be showing up again sometime on this show.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
So with that, I leave you with these wise words of wisdom. There are plenty of fish in the sea. Some glorious, HD, immersive fish. Some big, fat, slimy, licensed, disgusting fish. And all you need to do is you take a big knife and you... Hang on a sec. So professional, I know. Hello?
You mustn't stop reviewing licensed games. I will be made clear to you shortly. You will be hearing from us again.
Well, that's certainly a cliffhanger.
SpongeBob's